Welcome back to Living Local. Thrill Me, the Leopold and Loeb story is a two-character musical drama that recounts the chilling true story of the legendary duo who committed one of the most infamous and heinous crimes of the 20th century. And here to tell us all about it is one of the stars of the show, Mr. Adam Cerny. How are you, man?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm thrilled to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So let's talk about this. This is a rather chilling story to adapt into a musical.
Truly.
And let's talk about that premise a little bit.
Yes. So it's the story, true story. It's 100-year anniversary of the crime.
Yeah.
Leopold and Loeb in Chicago murdered a young boy named Bobby Franks. They were really wealthy young men, brilliant young men, 18 and 19, had already graduated high school and college, were getting ready to go to law school at 18 and 19, and decided so they would commit petty crimes together.
Okay.
They would start fires, they would do burglaries, but it wasn't enough for them. It wasn't getting the publicity and attention, so they decided they were going to commit the crime of the century and kill somebody and get away with it.
Yeah.
So they didn't.
Yeah, and this is the second time the show's been done in the Quad Cities.
Correct, yeah.
And you were in it the first time as well.
I was. In 2016, we did one weekend at the Circa 21 Speakeasy.
I always wonder about that when you do something, because I've done a show, a few shows a few times, and I always learn so much more every single time. Are you still finding new things in this one?
I still am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I spent the first time doing a lot of research, and this time I get to kind of play out all that research. We didn't have a lot of time the first time, and so I'm still learning things. There's source materials I've been looking at, books I've been reading. The composer, playwright, lyricist is releasing a book next month about his experience writing the show.
Wow, and so 100 years though, man.
100 years.
Wow, that's insane. Did you know much about this prior to working on this piece?
Not specifically.
Okay.
I did not know about the crime specifically. I had heard of it throughout the years. I know the dynamic though between the two.
Yeah.
Very toxic.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Very toxic relationship.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Different iterations of this story have been portrayed in film and theater throughout the years. So I was familiar with it through that, like Murder by Numbers with Sandra Bullock in 2002.
Oh, sure.
Rope with Hitchcock, Compulsion in 59, and then Thrill Me the Musical, which this focuses more on their relationship, as the other iterations really put the crime at the focus, and their relationship is kind of on the outskirts. They don't really touch on it specifically because they have a very intimate, sick dynamic.
Yeah.
But this time we get to focus right on that in the musical.
Wow, that's crazy. And your co-star is Daniel Williams.
Daniel Williams. Yeah.
And he's a really interesting performer that I love watching, but this is a little darker for him.
Yes, this is off-brand for Daniel.
Off-brand, yeah.
He told me he usually plays really happy, fun characters.
Yeah.
It's very different.
Yeah, not a happy, fun. We'll just say that, maybe not a happy, fun musical if you're looking for something.
Right. Yeah.
This is but it's a really cool piece because of the way that the story is told.
Absolutely.
And some of the songs are really catchy too. Actually, I like them a lot. I mean, as catchy as songs about murder can be.
Yes.
And let's talk about what it is about this piece that plays so well, because the subject matter doesn't exactly lend itself to a musical, but here we are.
I think what I like about it is because it focuses so much on their relationship, it humanizes them a bit. It does not justify their actions whatsoever.
Right.
But there's more relatability to them. With that being the center focus, there's no ambiguity about what happens. That's very clear when you walk away what happens. So you do get all the factual stuff from the case, but when you focus on the relationship, you can look at them and say, oh gosh, I might never do that, but I can recognize something in there that I see in myself. And that's always fascinating.
I always think the exploration of the why is fascinating too. It's like, I know what happened, but why did it happen?
Why did they do it? Would it have happened with any other person?
Yeah.
Why these two? Why this dynamic? What did they pull from each other? What did they get from each other? And that is the fascinating part of the story, is why these two did it. Yes, it was sensational and terrible.
Yeah.
But the relationship was really unique.
What's interesting about that is, stuff like that still happens for the same reasons.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that's stood the test of time in a really bizarre, twisted way.
Very twisted.
So let's talk about the importance of supporting works like this, though, because this is not Sound of Music. This is not Annie. This is not something that the masses know about. But this kind of work is something that the Black Box really does specialize in and does really well.
They do.
And so let's talk about why should somebody come see this and support it?
Well, if you like the space too, Black Box, it's a very intimate show. It's a chamber musical. It's a two-man musical. So I like to say it's a three-character musical.
Sure.
The piano is also a character in a way. You're right up there with us. It's a very intimate space. It's an intimate show. It's important because people don't get to see shows like this. I mean, this is the only second time it's been done in this area. You know, everybody who did get to see it, I still hear about it from them.
Yeah.
Which I feel like is the case with most small musicals that aren't huge. You know, there's always like a special subset of group of people who just are hardcore fans, and they'll get everybody else to see it. That's what I've been doing for Thrill Me for the last 8 years. Trying to get people to see it.
And you're here now trying to do it again. So let's talk about where viewers can catch the show. How can they get tickets? Let's get all those details.
Black Box Theater in Moline. We open Friday, February 9th. We run first 2 weekends in February, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then the third weekend we run Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You can go to the Black Box Theater. .com.
Yeah, blackboxtheater.com.
And then there should be a contact number too.
Yes, there is. Good. Yeah, and I hope you have a lot of success with the show, man.
Thanks.
It's going to be great. I can't wait to see it. And thanks for stopping in, man.
Thanks for having me. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Thrill Me opens this weekend at the Black Box Theater. You can learn more when you visit the blackboxtheater.com. We'll have all those details posted at ourquadcities.com.